As I slowly opened my eyes, the warm rays of sunlight peeked through the cracks of the wooden cabin, illuminating the unfamiliar surroundings. I was met with the musty smell of old wood and the faint scent of smoke from the fireplace. My head pounded, and my memories were hazy. The last thing I remembered was arguing with the village elder, Thorn, about my plans to leave the village and explore the world beyond the mountains. I must have passed out from exhaustion. I sat up and rubbed my temples, trying to recall the events that led me to this place. The cabin was small, with a single bed, a wooden table, and a fireplace. A small window on the opposite side of the room offered a breathtaking view of the mountains. I stumbled out of bed and approached the window, taking in the majestic scenery. The village of Brindlemark lay nestled in the valley below, its thatched roofs and wooden buildings blending seamlessly into the landscape. As I gazed out the window, I noticed a figure approaching the cabin. It was Alara, the village healer's daughter. She was kind and gentle, with a heart full of love for the village and its people. We had grown up together, exploring the mountains and sharing secrets. But as we grew older, our paths diverged. I became increasingly restless, feeling trapped in the village, while Alara was content with her life, helping her mother with the healing arts. Alara entered the cabin, a look of concern etched on her face. Kael, what happened? I found you unconscious outside the village elder's hut. She handed me a flask of water, and I took a sip, feeling the cool liquid soothe my parched throat. I explained my argument with Thorn, and Alara listened intently. She knew about my desire to leave the village, but she had always been cautious, warning me about the dangers that lay beyond the mountains. As we talked, I realized that my desire for adventure was not just about exploring the world. It was about escaping the darkness within me. I had always felt like an outsider in the village, like I didn't quite fit in. Alara's presence was a balm to my soul, and for a moment, I forgot about my troubles. But as the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the mountains, I knew I had to make a choice. Thorn had offered me a deal. Become the village's apprentice and learn the ancient arts of the mountains, or leave the village forever. I had refused, but now I was faced with the consequences of my decision. As Alara prepared to leave, I realized that I had to choose between my love for her and my duty to myself. I could stay in the village, learn the ancient arts, and live a life of comfort and security, or I could leave, pursuing my dreams and risking everything. Alara's eyes sparkled with tears as she looked at me, and I knew that she would follow me wherever I went. But I couldn't ask her to give up her life for me. I made a decision, my heart heavy with the weight of my choice. Alara, I have to go, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. I have to see what lies beyond the mountains. Alara's face fell, but she nodded, understanding in her eyes. I'll come with you, she said. But I shook my head. No, you have to stay. You have a life here, a family, a future. I'll come back for you. I promise. Alara's eyes welled up with tears, and I knew that I had broken her heart. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the mountains in a dark shadow, I slipped out of the cabin, leaving Alara behind. I made my way through the village, avoiding the villagers who were gathered around the fire, sharing stories and laughter. I reached the edge of the village and looked back, seeing Alara standing in the doorway of the cabin, her eyes fixed on me. I turned and ran, the darkness swallowing me whole. I didn't know what lay ahead, but I was determined to follow my dreams, no matter the cost. As I disappeared into the night, I knew that I would return, and next time, I would be ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The mountains loomed before me, their peaks shrouded in mist. But I was undaunted. I was Kael, the rebellious teenager, and I would not be defeated.